In 1985, Steve Jobs faced a moment most people never imagine. He was removed from Apple, not by competitors, not by failure in the market, but by the very company he had created. At just 30 years old, he lost the role, the authority, and the identity he believed defined his life. For years, Apple had not only been his work, it had been his purpose. And suddenly, that purpose was gone. What happens when the thing you built no longer includes you? Most people never plan for that question, because most people never expect to lose something they believe is permanently theirs. To understand the weight of this moment, you have to understand what Apple meant to Steve Jobs. He didn't join Apple, he started it from a garage with a small team, with an idea that personal computers could change how individuals interacted with technology. In the early years, Apple grew quickly. The Macintosh introduced a new way of thinking about design and usability. Jobs became known not just as an entrepreneur, but as a visionary. He was young, intense, and deeply involved in every decision. But rapid success can create tension. As Apple expanded, disagreements emerged about leadership style, direction, and execution. The board wanted stability. Jobs pushed for bold innovation. Eventually, those differences became too large to ignore, and the company chose to move forward without him. The departure was not graceful. It was public. It was painful. And it left Steve Jobs feeling as though he had been rejected by the very world he helped build. He later described that period as one of the most difficult times of his life. For months, he struggled with uncertainty. He wasn't just without a job, he was without the identity that Jobs had created. When success defines who you are, losing it can feel like losing yourself. Many people, when they face that level of disruption, retreat. They look for safety. They avoid risk. They choose comfort over rebuilding. Steve Jobs considered stepping away entirely. He wondered whether he still belonged in the technology industry. He questioned whether his earlier success had been luck rather than ability. That internal struggle was not visible to the public, but it was real, and it lasted longer than most people imagine. Eventually, something shifted. Instead of trying to reclaim what he had lost, Jobs began asking a different question. Not, how do I return to where I was, but what do I want to build next? This was not about proving anyone wrong. It was about rediscovering curiosity. He began exploring ideas again, meeting engineers, discussing possibilities, studying new directions in computing. Without the pressure of defending Apple's legacy, he was free to experiment again. Rejection had removed expectations, and in that absence of expectation, creativity returned. Steve Jobs founded a new company called Next. It was not designed to compete directly with Apple. It was designed to build advanced computers for education and research. Next was ambitious, expensive, and ahead of its time. Commercially, it struggled, but technologically, it achieved breakthroughs that would later influence the future of software development. During this same period, Jobs invested in a small animation studio. That company became Pixar. At the time, few people understood the significance of these moves. They didn't generate headlines. They didn't immediately restore his reputation. But they represented something more important than recognition. They represented reinvention. Jobs was no longer trying to recreate the past. He was building something new, step by step, without needing validation. Meanwhile, Apple began to falter. Without clear vision, the company lost focus. Product lines expanded without direction. Innovation slowed. Leadership struggled to define what Apple should become. Eventually, Apple needed help, and the solution they once rejected became the answer they required. Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, but he did not return as the same person who had left. The years away had changed him. He had learned patience. He had refined his thinking. He had focused his approach. Instead of trying to do everything, he simplified Apple's strategy. He reduced product lines, recentered design, recommitted to innovation with clarity rather than chaos. The results reshaped not only Apple, but entire industries. The iMac, the iPod, the iPhone. These products didn't emerge from uninterrupted success. They emerged from a period of removal, reflection, and rebuilding. Looking back, Steve Jobs made a statement that surprised many people. He said being fired from Apple was one of the best things that ever happened to him, because it forced him to begin again, without assumptions, without ego, without the need to protect what already existed. Starting over allowed him to build differently. And often, building differently is what leads to building better. Success is rarely a straight line. It is interruption followed by adaptation, loss followed by growth, rejection followed by reinvention. White circle final message. Many people see rejection as an ending, but sometimes it is a reset. A moment that removes what no longer fits, so something stronger can be created. Steve Jobs did not succeed because he avoided failure. He succeeded because he allowed failure to change him instead of stopping him. The world remembers his return, but the return was only possible because he accepted the time away. If you are facing a moment where something important has been taken from you, don't rush to replace it. Take the time to rebuild yourself with intention, because sometimes the greatest growth begins when the path you expected disappears. Stay steady, stay patient, and keep moving forward.